Coming to you from the Pacific Northwest, you're listening to the Mythic Radio Podcast. Happy October, everybody.
The first time it happened, I was sleeping and woke up because I felt a hand on my leg and I realized that I couldn't move.
And he come across this object on the ground which was the shape of a flying saucer. So he jumped out of his pickup and went down there, and there was 4 beings laying on the ground.
When I raised my head back up, I was turning my head, and out of my peripheral vision, I seen something hop to a tree. And it was tall, about 7-8 foot tall, and it was black, real hairy, like a gorilla.
The first thing we saw was this winged creature, 14-foot wingspan at least. It was huge. It almost covered half the road.
Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Nick. Today is Monday, October 2nd, and this is episode 20. You can visit mythicradio.com and share your own story by clicking on the Tell Your Story link. You can also get involved by joining our forum and by following us across all social media. If you'd like to support the podcast, you can visit patreon.com/mythicradio. New episodes of the podcast air every Monday and Friday on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, SoundCloud, Stitcher, TuneIn, and YouTube. The Pine Barrens of southern New Jersey is a vast wilderness of immense beauty and tremendous solitude. It is the largest body of open land on the mid-Atlantic seaboard between Richmond, Virginia, and Boston, Massachusetts. This location is home to the Pinelands National Reserve, which contains 1.1 million acres of pristine forest, and the Pine Barrens share a large portion of this reserve. Early settlers of the Pine Barrens referred to themselves as Pineys, and included Quakers, outlaws, and even smugglers. The soil of the Pine Barrens was sandy, acidic, and not suitable for farming. It was later discovered, though, that a natural reservoir of pure, sterile water was hidden beneath the pines and was desired by travelers in need of potable water. In the 1800s, an industrialist by the name of Joseph Wharton acquired 100,000 acres of the Pine Barrens and sought to transport the water through a canal in order to replace Philadelphia's unsuitable drinking water. The New Jersey legislature denied Wharton's request to export the water, and the land that Wharton once owned is now known as the Wharton State Forest. Many generations of families have lived off the land in the Pine Barrens, and deserted villages are now scattered throughout the region. A few of the towns have been restored to their former beauty, but the majority of the structures have been reclaimed by the flora and fauna. Throughout the centuries, the Pine Barrens, and in particular the Wharton State Forest, have become the epicenter and home to one of the most famous cryptid creatures in history, known as the Jersey Devil. As legend has it, in 1735, a Pines resident known as Mother Leeds found herself pregnant for the 13th time. Leeds is the name of one of New Jersey's earliest settlers, and many descendants of the Leeds family can still be found throughout New Jersey to this day. Mother Leeds was not living a wealthy lifestyle by any means. Upon learning of her 13th child, she raised her hands to the heavens and proclaimed, "Let this one be a devil." A few months later, on a severely stormy night, Mother Leeds went into labor, no longer mindful of the curse she had uttered months earlier. Her children and husband huddled together in one room of their Leeds Point home, while local midwives gathered to deliver the baby in another. By all accounts, the birth went routinely, and the 13th Leeds child was a seemingly normal baby boy. Within minutes, however, Mother Leeds' unholy wish of months before began to come true. The baby started to change right before her very eyes. Within moments, it transformed from a beautiful newborn into a hideous creature. It sprouted horns from the top of its head, and talon-like claws tore through the tips of its fingers. Leathery bat-like wings unfurled from its back, and hair sprouted all over the child's body. Its eyes began glowing bright red as they grew larger in the monster's skull. The creature savagely attacked its own mother, killing her and then turning its attention to the rest of the horrified onlookers, maiming some and killing others. The monster then knocked down the door to the next room, where its own father and siblings cowered in fear. The beast sprinted to the chimney and flew up it. The creature then disappeared into the darkness of the Pine Barrens, where it has lived ever since. To this day, the creature, known as the Leeds Devil, claims the pines as its own and terrorizes any who are unfortunate enough to encounter it. Other versions of this story say that the mother's name was actually Mrs. Showards, not Leeds. Furthermore, some say that the child resembled a devil as soon as it was born, as well as being born in another town altogether. Some even say that the father of the child was indeed the devil himself. Some of the descriptions of the creature vary, but the majority of eyewitnesses describe it as having the head of a horse or dragon, leathery bat-like wings, short forearms, a devil-like tail, and long back legs with cloven hooves. It is said to sit in the tops of trees in order to stalk its prey, and on numerous accounts it has been witnessed standing on the rooftops of people's homes. Some witnesses also claim to have been chased while hearing the loud flapping sound of the creature's wings close above them. As far-fetched as the description and origin of the Jersey Devil may sound, it's important to note that encounters with this creature are not confined to certain religions, beliefs, or backgrounds. In fact, the only common variable across eyewitness reports is the general location and description of the creature. When digging into the history of the Leeds name, we find that there is documented proof of a woman by the last name of Leeds in New Jersey that did in fact bear 13 children. I wasn't able to obtain additional information regarding the 13th birth, but based on the information I did find, it's safe to say that at least a portion of this legend is true. To this day, many relatives of the Leeds family still reside in the New Jersey area and believe that they too have had encounters with the Jersey Devil. Even Native Americans believed that the Pine Barrens was home to a strange creature, and they referred to the land as Papuessing, which means the place of the dragon. Many Swedish explorers that frequented this area named the Pine Barrens Drake Kill, which translates into Dragon River. Over the centuries, there have been hundreds of sightings, witnessed by well-respected people. In fact, the legend has become so ingrained in the mythology and history of New Jersey that annual events, barbecues, and museums play host to thousands of visitors each year. Furthermore, the NHL hockey team, known as the Kansas City Scouts, was moved to East Rutherford, New Jersey in 1982 and was renamed as the New Jersey Devils. Rarely is a phenomenon so impactful that it alters the very culture of the state in which it occurs. This alone is reason to take a second look at the stories and eyewitness testimonies surrounding one of America's most well-known monsters. The people of New Jersey deserve to have their stories heard, and it's important to remember that even the strangest stories usually begin with a grain of truth. In Part 2 of The Jersey Devil, we'll begin delving into the strange accounts that have been witnessed by folks in and around the New Jersey area. We'll also take a closer look at some of the theories and explanations that people have come up with. We'll be talking about all that and more on Friday's episode. I hope to see you there. As always, get a hold of me at mythicradio@gmail.com if you guys have a story or question for me regarding the Jersey Devil, or just visit mythicradio.com and click on the Tell Your Story link. Please click the follow and like buttons. I appreciate you being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode on Friday. From all of us at Mythic Radio, thanks for listening, and remember, don't wait for the unknown to come to you. Get out there and find it.